Okay, so On Air is going away later this year for quick streaming. Try. Oh wow. Okay, so hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Dusty and Dia Sunday sessions. Episode 4 will resume on the Dusty Bogan's channel. Say hello to my co-host Dusty.
G'day everyone. I've been on the hit pieces all week from The Guardian, SBS, all of them. They've gone harder.
They all hate you. They hated me, but they've moved on to someone else. So that's
we laughed about it last Sunday when we were our last episode. I was like, I'm jealous. You've got a hit piece and I don't. And then we finished the conversation, and then you sent me an article, and you're like, here you go, dreams come true.
I rang you. I actually rang you and said, oh my god, you should be excited.
So funny.
So funny. Wait, just before we continue, according to the top of my screen, it says that this Hangout On Air is live. Hangouts On Air is going away later this year. Isn't that crazy? YouTube's getting rid of live streaming.
Are you joking me? But aren't they? Doesn't it say they're replacing it with quick something?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't read that bit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So they'll swap it with something even better, hopefully,
That's probably true. Okay, so what we'll do is today, also I've sent this link to James Fox Higgins. We're secretly hoping he'll come on. Let me also send it to him on Telegram before we continue. But do you want to give everyone a rundown on what the basis of what they're saying is? And then we'll go through the article. I'll do a screen share. We'll actually look at the article. So like, do that while
pretty much what happened, right? What happened was 2 years ago, the coalition of, when the gay vote happened, there was the coalition of marriage. They had events on. In Brisbane City, they had an event. So we went with the Proud Boys. We watched the show. We watched all the speeches. And at the end, we were talking to all the politicians and people there, right? And we're having a chat to Bob Catter. He's having a laugh. You know what he's like? He's like a classic Aussie bogan bloke, like larrikin. But he's so inspiring too. Like, he's sweet. He's putting his cowboy hat on our heads. He's chatting to us, and we're like, sweet. Hey, Bob, I've got a megaphone. Here's my megaphone. He's talking into it and that. And then we're like, hey, say this, say that. And we got him to say the Proud Boys first degree pledge, right? He didn't know what he was doing. We filmed it, and it was just a joke, right? Like, it's harmless fun. Now, this first degree pledge from Bob Catt has been up on my YouTube for like 2 years or something, maybe a year and a half. I don't know exactly the date, but it was, it was around just before the plebiscite happened, right? And now, then the Guardian's written this big hit piece, and they're like, Bob Catter's, he's sworn allegiance to the Proud Boys right-wing fraternity, which, and then it says in the article, it says Proud Boys have links to white supremacists. And it's so stupid because there's me standing there in a Fred Perry, then you got in the Proud Boy shirt, then you got Bob, and then you've got another Proud Boy on the other side of Bob who's Fijian with dreadlocks. So, like,
That's so right wing.
How stupid are they? Like, hang on a minute, you've written a hit piece, everyone can see the picture, everyone can watch the video themselves. Who's the dude with dreads? How are these guys white nationalists? Or I don't know if it might be white nationalists or white supremacists, some bullshit, which is an absolute lie, because one of the tenets of the Proud Boys is we're anti-racist. Do you know what I mean? Any race can join, any religion can join, gay people can join, whatever. Like, not a problem. And then, so there's an article from that article from The Guardian. They did a proper, like, hit piece. They said, and Dusty Bogan, the guy who posted this to his YouTube channel, he's also interviewed Blair Cottrell.
It's always Blair. It's always that's what makes you extreme.
And then they said, and Blair Cottrell had, the dude who shot up the mosque in New Zealand.
Brenton.
I don't even know the guy's name off my head. They said something like, that guy who shot up the mosque said something good about Blair. So they tried to paint this picture where they're trying to connect that dude who sometime in his life said something about Blair. So connecting him to Blair is already a stretch. You know what I mean?
There was no communication.
Like, he seems to me, like, I've interviewed him once. He seemed like a decent enough guy. And I don't know about, like, say, all the hit pieces they write about him. You can't believe that shit. You can't believe it, just like you can't believe this hit piece, right? So I'll give him a benefit of the doubt. I'll probably give a lot of people the benefit of the doubt, and I'll talk to them myself, and I'll find out for myself, whatever. So they've drawn that stretch to Blair, which I believe is a huge stretch. Then they're linking me to Blair, which is fair enough. I interviewed him, and then it's like they're building this, mate. It's a fucking giant stretch from trying to connect Bob Catter, me and Blair to this mass shooter guy. It's fucking. I was like, that's insane.
That's insane.
That is a huge stretch.
It is a huge stretch, incredibly so.
Yeah, I think it's really lazy journalism. You know what I mean?
It is lazy journalism. I know you well enough. I mean, I don't know you intimately, but I know you well enough to know that, you know, you're not someone who likes to go massacring people.
Oh, it's fucking stupid.
So stupid.
And you know, and then here's the biggest problem with the original article, the ABC article barely mentions me. The White Rose article mentions me, but the Guardian,
because they hate us.
Yeah, I mean, all the articles, right? What they do, it's like, so they write a hit piece like this about me or Bob or whatever, which is all lies. But inside this hit piece, they're referencing other hit pieces that are all spin and lies. And it's like they're creating circular reasoning where they're just referencing other hit pieces that are just fucking wild. You know, they're just absolute lies, pretty much.
Yeah.
They are lies. But if you look, we've linked the article to the White Rose Society, right? So people can read that for themselves.
What they are actually left. They are not just like the Guardian, which is, you know, perceived as left, even though every single leftist page on like Facebook always quotes them because they are in an echo chamber and they don't use anything else. The White Rose Society is like dark inner left. Like, I've been in one of their articles that I'm aware of, and it was the one that doxed my workplace.
Oh wow.
But it wasn't an article about me. It wasn't an article about me. But anyway, so let's do a screen share and go through this article, because I think that will be a fun little activity to do for this live stream. All right, so let's go here. Are we in it? And we go share. And where am I? Can you see the screen at the moment, guys?
Let me have a look. I'm watching it on my phone.
I can't tell. I don't
anyway, we can read it anyway.
No,
I don't think it's not working.
Hang on, let's go to share. Okay, I think I got it. All right, can you guys see that?
Give me a second. I think the internet lags a little bit. It's not off on mine. There we go. Yeah, we can see it now.
All right, cool. So let's go. I'm going to just go Control F. Then I'm going to write Ben. There it is. Okay, so let's go from this point. Here we are. So Katter's misogyny and biological racism come together in his arguments against abortion. In 2006, for instance, he argued against abortion drug RU486 on the grounds that immigrants were not capable of reproducing Australians. On this point, it is worth noting that Ben Shand, the Proud Boys president of Ipswich, is himself a militant anti-abortionist in line with the Christo-fascist Pentecostal beliefs. Oh my God, they're making it sound like...
Christo-fascist. I can't believe that word exists. It's so fucking stupid.
I've never heard that. I've never heard Christo-fascist. That's just like trying to paint Christians as extremists. That's criminal.
Every Christian is against abortion. Every Christian's against murder and violence. Like, yeah, look, maybe I think if you look in the Old Testament, Moses, if you look at the 10 Commandments, it says that murder is wrong. Maybe the death penalty, you know, it's arguable. You could have an argument and say, is the death penalty, you know, is that palatable on some level for Christians, for people who are like mass murderers or bloody, you know.
Okay, let's keep sharing the screen.
That's going off topic. That's something that needs to be delved into. That's a kind of that's an interview on its own or an episode on its own. Yeah.
So he and other members of the Proud Boys in Queensland members attended the March for Life rally. So did I. In September 2018, protesting against decades overdue abortion law reform. Katter's thoughts on the relationship between abortion, immigration. Okay, that's it's gonna and decline of the Australian race are also comparable to a number of Proud Boy tenets, including explicit Western chauvinism. Obviously, Western chauvinism. That's the point. In
That's the
Shan's
point.
That's the point. We want people to come here who value the West. In Shan's own words, this latter idea implies that there should be a time in every woman's life where they are a mother. How dare you say that? That is extreme.
Yeah, it's so silly. Women get the opportunity to be like small g gods. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the most amazing thing ever. Like,
And look at
these
you.
people are robbing. I think these people must be militant, like feminists who are. I don't know what would cause them to be so pro death, like pro abortion, or like anti women being mothers. Like, to me, that's what they are. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I can't. I'm just like, hang on a minute. They're like militant cat mums. These whoever wrote this article, the White
definitely.
Rose Society.
Well, let's look at the bit where there's a photo of you and Blair. I took it off the screen share, but let's put it back on for a second again and go to that part of the article. All right. So it says,
yeah.
What were you gonna say?
If you scroll down just a bit, there's a post from Lyle Shelton from his Twitter.
That's where I am. I'm there.
Yeah.
So there's a photo of you and Blair where it says, "This clearly demonstrates the extent of the mutual appeal between Qatar and the fascist far right. One grounded in a shared political outlook rather than ignorance or happenstance. It is also noteworthy that the Proud Boys do accept the members of both cisgender exclusive gay men." At least I wrote that.
Yeah,
And
it's
men of
pretty
color.
good.
Yeah, a
So,
fact that
like,
Shand uses. You use this to launder your bigoted views. That's what you do, even though you've associated with white supremacists such as Blair Cottrell and Fraser Anning, who are not white supremacists. They are white separatists and maybe race realists, but they are not supremacists. This is the
Proud
one.
Boys. Yeah.
So that's a photo of Dave Pellos. And
that's from Dave Pallo's event on last Thursday. It was like I don't know the name exactly. I wasn't there. I think it was something to do. It was like, how do we stop corporations silencing Christians like Israel Folau? That was what the event was about. And Lyle Shelton caught up with some of the Proud Boys there, and obviously he's done a photo and put a tweet out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good to catch up with the Proud Boys. Contrary to popular opinion, they are not Nazis, except for like all the Nazis that I can see in the photo.
Yeah, well, one of our Proud Boys there is a Maori, so like, is it possible? I mean, they think that you could be any minority and they'll still call you a Nazi, right? I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's just stupid. You could be Jewish and they'll call you a Nazi. Like, they've done it to...
They do that to Ben Shapiro and to Avi.
Yeah.
That's so wrong.
How retarded are they? What they're doing, but is they're watering down that word, which is disgusting. Like, that's disgusting. Like, if I was Jewish, I think Jewish people should be offended by how the left... Well, look, I wouldn't call the person who wrote this left wing. I think they're definitely like authoritarian,
totalitarian,
really, really extreme left wing. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe they're just a shit journalist who has to use clickbait to get anyone to read the article. But that's a huge possibility.
Well, the fact that they go out of their way to dox people, they doxed. I don't know if you're aware of him, Thomas Brasher. They've doxed my workplace, not even me, my workplace. Like they're mean, they're nasty. Like there's no reason to do that. I wouldn't do that to anyone. But anyway, so that's the article you've had. So you said you've had 3 hit pieces. So that was the one that I sent you, that one that we just read over, right?
There's the Guardian one, then there's the SBS, and then
The
there's this
SBS one,
one from
I was not aware that there was an SBS one of you, but I did know about the White Rose.
It wasn't too bad. I think they like don't even mention me in the SBS one, but they go after the Proud Boys and they have some like links. So they use the old circular reasoning tactic where it's
Of
just
course.
it's all false. Like it's just another hit piece. So they, that's what they do. Like this is probably one hit piece that they will start of me. Like they've got a hit piece on you or hit pieces on anyone out there. Like say Lyle Shelton, Dave Pally. Now this will become a hit piece they'll use, and then as time progresses, there'll be more hit pieces, and they'll start to use the circular reasoning, and they'll put links to these other hit pieces. So it's just it's not really real journalism. If you scratch beneath the surface of these articles, you'd be like, hang on a minute, that guy's black in there. But with the Lyle Shelton thing, what they've done is see one of the Proud Boys. He's doing this.
Yeah, it's okay to be white.
Doing that,
which actually just means okay. It's okay.
Well, for the Proud Boys, it means okay. And like, how did that start? It was like Donald Trump talks with his hands, and he was going like, you doing this. Oh, you amazing job. And I think 4chan started they said okay was white power because they were trying to say everyone who's done this, Trump, Obama. It was just a big troll. It's like this hashtag thing. You've seen the hashtag thing, and it's like, so they said, hashtag is Hail Hitler. So everyone who's ever used a hashtag is a Nazi. You know what I mean? Or they say the peace sign is two genders. Have you heard that one? So it's like every single. Well, you know how the Asians or the the Japanese are like, the Japanese go peace, and it's no, they're not actually doing peace. They're actually homophobic and transphobic, and they only believe in two genders. So all of Asia is homophobic and transphobic.
Cool.
And that's the 4chan tactic, right?
I'm on board. I'm on board with the two genders.
So here's a funny thing about the okay thing, right? Proud Boys for years and years. It's probably when the okay thing blew up. We started a campaign, like a sticker campaign. It's okay to be a Proud Boy. Do you know what I mean? It's okay to be a Proud Boy. We put these stickers everywhere. So look, sometimes you see Proud Boys doing that. We've got photos with Arvi, and we're all going like this. Even I think Arvi's even going like that. Like
Arvi's not stupid enough to get offended by these things. He understands the history of them.
Yeah, he understands. It's just a troll.
He absolutely understands that.
I've trolled Lyle Shelton's his Twitter, and they're like, Lyle Shelton's exposing himself as the true Nazi he is, and it's like Lyle Shelton's the nicest dude ever. Like I've interviewed him heaps. Same with Dave Pella. Like these guys are absolute they're the salt of the earth. They're like my personal heroes,
Dave Pellos is lovely. Yeah, I'm friends with him. Yeah. It's
like, it's just, I mean, I'm sure they know. I mean, look, they firebombed Lyle Shelton's office down in Canberra when all this was going on. Like, Lyle Shelton's seen it all. He's probably seen it worse than anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So funny.
And that's we got to keep reading this article because they even go into
all right, what part are we up to?
Unions, like you get into all the stuff about the unions and the ALP for Qatar. So that in the article they try to build this bridge. I mean, they go after Bob, they go after Lyle, they go after Dave, they go after me, they go after the Proud Boys. They even go after the unions, and they go after Albanese.
Oh, here it is. So Bob Katter has long enjoyed the support of both mainstream unions and leading figures of the Australian Labor Party. Katter is particularly close with recently elected ALP leader Anthony Albanese. Katter openly and wholeheartedly backed Albanese's bid for party leadership, particularly against the early interest of Tanya Plibersek, whom Katter blamed for the ALP's electoral loss in Queensland. As reported by the ABC, Katter's support for Albanese rests on 21 years' worth of mutual affection, okay, who cares, between the two. with Albanese having described Kata as one of the great characters of the national parliament. He's a mate of mine, and I am proud to say he is a fair dinkum bloke. So they don't think that he can make that call based on a 20-odd year friendship? Okay.
Well, what they're doing here, like whatever they're saying about me and Blair and the Proud Boys and Dave and Lyle, they're tying it to Bob, and then they've tied that to Bob, right? So they're trying to do a hit piece on Bob, and then they're tying in Labor's leadership to Bob Katter and saying we're all one big fascist right wing conspiracy. Like this is wild. I've never seen such an article in my life. These people must be. I think what this article has done for me. I'm reading it and I'm like, wow, like I kind of like Albanese. I kind of like the unions to a certain degree now. I'm like, they are pretty normal. Maybe it is these really, really radicals, these authoritarians that are kind of ruining the left for people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
These are the militant people who even hate the Labor Party. They are so far to the left that they hate the Labor Party, they hate Albanese, they hate Bob Katter.
These people are just too far gone. It says here, this is the bit that I think you wanted me to read. Amongst the unions, Katter and his party, Katter's Australia Party, have received substantial forms of financial and political support, including from the Australian Council of Trades Union, a couple of other places, ETU, and the Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance. So he has backing. Doesn't every single political group have some sort of a financial backing? I don't even see how that's wrong.
You should. I think reading this bit too. The CFMEU Construction Forestry blah 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 Union. So the CFMEU is notable amongst this group as one of the several unions which have been instrumental in the ALP's adoption to Tony Abbott's refugee turn-back policy and shutting down debate on refugees, reform to asylum seeker policy within the ALP. These same policies have themselves inspired support from support and imitation from a number of neo-Nazi groups across Europe. So they're tying in the CFMEU union. They're tying in all these unions, and they're saying these unions are what do they say? They're saying that they're neo-Nazi groups. Essentially,
that's ridiculous.
They're going
that's just
right up.
Flawed logic. That's like saying the cafe that gives Bob Katter his coffee every morning is part of a Nazi group.
So this is the extent. Everyone who reads this must be like, fuck. Like, okay, they've kind of watered down the whole attack on me and like, look, me, Dave, Lyle, Shelton. They've watered it right down. They've dragged everyone into this. It's just fuck. It's a great example of how these journalists are. Like extreme clickbait. They must suck. No one must be reading their articles.
And then it says here, notable amongst these records was a $25,000 donation from the CFMEU that came 6 months after Katter had appeared in a photo op with well-known neo-Nazis from the United Patriots Front, now Lads Society. They met at a rally for dairy farmers, which the UPF had attempted to hijack. Tom Sewell in the background of the photo once tried to recruit Tarrant, the neo-Nazi terrorist responsible for Christchurch attacks. And then, of course, I have a photo there of Blair and Katter because, you know, that somehow lends to their argument.
I wonder what happened with, you know, maybe they said they tried to recruit him. And I bet you they were like, wow, this guy's nuts. We don't want anything to do with him. That's probably the reality. Like, that's the thing with the Proud Boys. Like, we have a vetting page, right, where people come in. What do you think the vetting page is for? Because we don't want extremists. We don't want these nutcases. So they keep painting this picture about us, which are all false accusations. While you can clearly see the tenets of our club, you can see that we're multiracial and there's gay members and all of this. You can see it. You got the physical, tangible evidence. You can talk to these people in the
But
flesh
they also
wearing Proud
know
Boy
they
shirts.
know it. They know it. They know it about me. They know I've had gay people on my channel. They know I've had transgender people on my channel. But they still want to say that you are far right, I am far right, and somehow you, more in particular, more than me, you are somehow tied to someone who massacred a bunch of people in Christchurch.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
It's
But like, here's the thing.
It's defamation through implication.
But look, here's the thing. But right, we have members in the Proud Boys because we're more conservative, libertarian. Like I'd say the spectrum, my personal spectrum of politics, and I'd say the spectrum of the Proud Boys. It would be classical liberalism, conservatism, libertarianism, and then civic nationalism or cultural nationalism. Right. That's the scope.
Okay.
It's from center, and this is how far right we go. So inside the group, like, yes, I'm very quite conservative. I'm anti-abortion. I'm pro-traditional marriage. But we have Proud Boys who are pro-abortion. But I would say these guys who are pro-abortion, they are anti-late term abortion. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of the Proud Boys who are
abortion.
Yeah, well,
sorry, not the people in your party. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so a lot of the people in the Proud Boys, there's a spectrum. If you look at just me and what I say, there is a spectrum of thought inside the Proud Boys where some people are more libertarian. Do you know what I mean? So they'll be like, look, they'll say something like, I don't mind if gay people get married. I think marriage should not even be a part of the government. They might say some things like that. Or, hey, look, I think they should be able to get an abortion. But I don't believe in late term abortion. So there's a spectrum there. But then also, right, I'm not saying we have our tenants in the Proud Boys, we're anti illegal immigration. We're pro natural population growth of a nation. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, all very reasonable ideologies.
Yeah, so I think we're quite reasonable. So like I don't want to say like, hey, look, I'm left wing or I'm like not at all. So like that's not the case here. Like just to be honest, you know what I mean? Like, look, I'm saying, look, yes, we have multi-ethnic people and we have gay people, but inside our group, there's like unity amongst kind of true diversity. Do you know what I mean? It's not like with the left wing people that are so extreme, they're so narrow minded that they kick them out of the left. Do you know? This is why like classical liberalism is now a virtue of the left, of the right. Yeah, it's now a virtue of the right because the left they don't believe in classical liberalism anymore. They don't believe in freedom of speech. Do you know what I mean? They don't actually believe in multiculturalism either. They've rejected multiculturalism for authoritarian left-wing ideology.
The funny thing too is that these leftist publications, and this obviously White Rose Society is completely left, just not even Guardian left, just like left, like dark left.
I think saying that they're left-wing, they're off the spectrum. Like I think there's a spectrum of left and right wing.
They're extreme left, whereas the Guardian is just stupid left. The White Rose Society is like dark interweb. Should never have been.
I feel like it's insulting to say that they're left wing. To like, if saying that, I'm like,
that's very nice of you to defend the left.
I think it's insulting to say that because look, I've got mates who are left wing. I've got, my father-in-law like loves the unions. He loves the Labor Party. I got mates who love the Labor Party, and I'm like, I know their heart. I think there's people in the Labor Party who sincerely think they're doing well. They mean well. I think their ultimate goal is they think like, hey, these are the policies that are going to create like a better nation. So I can understand that. But then you have these people who are saying this White Rose Society, they're off the reservation, man. Like, I don't even know if the Greens. So, say for example, when we went to the Labor Day march, you can see I have on my YouTube channel. We went to the Labor Day rally, right?
Mm.
All the unions come through, CFMEU, all the unions. I'm talking to these guys. They seem all right. Do you know what I mean? But then I was noticing people handing out newspapers. I'm like, what are these? They were like, here's some Marxist literature. I'm like, whoa. And they said, oh, it will cost you $1. But right at the end of the rally, there was the Labor Party, followed by the Greens, followed by the Australian Communist Party. Now I'm thinking the White Rose Society, are they communists? Maybe they are the communists. I think they'd be even beyond the Greens.
They are. This is what I'm trying to tell you. They doxed my workplace. They doxed my friend Thomas Brasher, and saying that out loud is probably going to get me in trouble because Thomas Brasher is seen as part of this group that tried to intercept the Liberals in New South Wales, and he's just not like that. He's a good person. He's a kind-hearted fellow. But either way, you're right. The White Rose Society is not just left. They are extremist. They are basically the they are the dark extremist left. This is very, 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 very true. And the fact that they have you on their radar, it's laughable.
Like,
it's laughable.
This is the thing. Like,
it's laughable.
I don't feel angry at them. I don't even care. I'm like, whatever, mate. Water off a duck's back. I'm not gonna sweat about it. Like,
but aligning you with Christchurch, aligning you with Blair, which you've interviewed him once. Blair is not a horrible person to be aligned with, but the point is, interviewing someone once does not align you with them. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I interviewed Warren Mundine. It was like, I was like, hey, Warren.
I met Warren Mundine. He said he'd come on my YouTube channel at some point.
Yeah, he's a top bloke. So I interviewed Warren. I interviewed Blair. I interviewed Tim Wills. Like, there were heaps of people there. The problem is I probably didn't know. I'm like, who's who?
That's a diverse array of people.
People tell me who to interview here because I don't even bloody know. You know what I mean? It's hard to give up an opportunity too, because the thing is, these hit pieces, I think this hit piece is a perfect example for journalists or people like you and I, who you're like, I don't know if I believe the hit piece is about Blair. Like, essentially, I
never did.
I don't believe, like, this is a hit piece against Albanese. This is a hit piece against Bob Catter, Dave Pallo, Lyle Shelton, the Proud Boys. So for you and I who go out and interview people, we're like, I don't believe any of this because personally I know they've lied about me. So it makes me want to go up to Blair and go, hey, man, let's have a conversation. Let's find out who this guy really is, because this is just shit journalism.
Well, that's exactly right. When I first met Avi, when I first met Blair, when I first met Neil, I knew that they had bad publicity. I wanted to meet them. I wanted to get to the source and be like, I have access to these people because they happen to be in Victoria. This shouldn't be too hard to talk to these people. And then I did, and I was like, oh, Avi's pretty reasonable and he likes Christians and he's defending Christian rights. Oh, Blair isn't this white supremacist Nazi lover. He's, just more of a realist and likes to read and just, and then Neil is Neil. But like, the point is that you did exactly what I did. You were like, I don't think I believe the media, so I'm going to go find out about this person and see what they're like. That's what a normal human being does.
I would talk to these left-wing people. Like, we went to the weed rally, right?
I know you would, but they wouldn't. They would just.
They say no. They say no. I tried to interview a guy named Milton Dick in Brisbane. I went to the Vietnamese rally in Inala. They had a rally in Inala, which was anti-communism. It was all about raising awareness to the threat of communism to Australia and the South Pacific, right? And throughout Asia, they were like, they've got a huge campaign on the Vietnamese community. And this is across Australia, right? And here you go. Here's a Labor member who was there. And I was like, hey, man, the Vietnamese, they were like, we love you, Dusty. We want you to interview Milton Dick.
The Vietnamese are awesome.
Yeah, they were like, Dusty, we've organized this interview. Yep, it's going to happen. Make sure you interview him. I'm like, hey, they walked me up, like the leader of the Vietnamese community. He's like, yes, now you interview Dusty. And then he was like, oh, sorry, I'm not talking to anyone. So he didn't want to talk. But I'm like, hey, whatever, man. That's all good. No hurt feelings. When we went to the legalized marijuana rally in Brisbane, which was run by the Liberal Democrats, and they actually invited the Pirate Party and the Greens Party, and they were like,
I love the Liberal Democrats. They're great people.
Yes, and I think I think if you're gonna let anyone say, if we were to, when we legalize gay marriage, I think we should have been like, hey, libertarians, could you please handle this for us? Because they would have installed freedom of speech issues, freedom of religion, and they would have had like a holistic approach, which would have made it way more palatable, and we wouldn't have all this the kind of drama we're having now. And this is the same thing with the marijuana. Look, I'm not really fussed or on the legalization of marijuana, but you know what? If anyone's going to do it, I think the libertarians should do it. I think they would have, it would be business focused. It would raise taxes. It would create jobs. It would probably be mindful of people's mental health, and it would be, I think they would do a better job at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why we went there. And the thing is, when we went there was the Greens guy, the local, I think he has the seat in the Wollongabba or something, right? Near the Lions AFL team stadium. So he was there. As soon as he finished his speech, he was gone. Didn't stick around to interview anyone. I got speaking to the Pirate Party guy. We actually had a decent conversation, and I think they're more. He was like classical liberalism, but this Pirate Party dude. He was saying how he was a globalist. He's like, I'm a globalist. I don't believe in borders. I'm like, I don't think anyone believes in that, dude. I don't think there's a nation on the earth where people believe in that. Why would we as a nation believe in globalism and open borders when no one wants that? The Philippines doesn't want it. China doesn't want it. North Korea doesn't want it. Iran doesn't want it. Cuba doesn't want it. No one wants that. No one wants globalism. They're happy to have borders and sovereignty and make their own laws and control who comes and goes. Who believes in it? Who believes in globalism?
Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, they all wanted the open borders. They've all claimed it.
Oh, it's Merkel. But I swear,
that's my point. And these are the people that work for the globalists. There's a whole globalist agenda that's run by different kinds of people. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Rothschilds, like all these different individuals.
I don't believe Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, Jews, Christians, Muslims. I don't think any of them religions, faiths or philosophies believe in globalism or open borders. I don't think they do. I don't think Africans or Indians or Middle Easterners or Latinos.
You're not right. You're not right.
I think there's some crazy people in Western countries who believe in this, but I don't think there's people outside. I think in the West, yeah, we've got these people who are nuts.
But dude, you're not right.
I don't think they're on that.
You're right about everything, minus the fact that there are two factions of the Jewish faith, right? So you have the ones who believe in the Torah and the ones who believe in the Talmud. Now, I have a lot of so the Talmudic ones are absolutely for globalism. They paint our Savior Jesus Christ in a really horrible fashion. They talk about circumcision in a way that is grotesque and very pedophilia-like. And so I am pro-Israel all the way, always will be, but I'm not pro the specific type. There's a particular type of
radical element there.
Anyone who believes in the Talmud, those are the globalists that I don't want. Those are the Zionists I don't like. Now, if you're a Zionist the way Dennis Prager is a Zionist, I'm fine with you. And that's my sort of line. And so that's where you said that you don't believe that Jew is this or Jew is that.
There's always an exception, right? But aren't they
the biblical Jew 1%? Over the Talmudic
Aren't
Jew?
They 1%? Like it's always.
I think they are 1%, but they do have a fair bit of influence. But as I said, I'm not one of those. People say to me, Dia, you seem so woke. You seem like you know everything that you know about the Jews, yet you still support them. Yes, because I can differentiate between the two. So I think there's a whole entire audience of people who hate me because I don't say that, even though I just said it then. But what they don't like is that I justify it by saying that there are two different factions, but there are. there are globalist Jews, and then there are Torah Jews, and there are also Messianic Jews, and those are like Christians. Those are like Jews for Jesus.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of them coming on my channel in the next couple of weeks. One Messianic Jew that I met recently. Hopefully he says yes to coming on. He said he'd email me because I gave him my business card, so that'd be awesome. But
nice.
I didn't mean to go off topic, but like you can't.
It's all relevant, eh?
But yeah, you said that you don't believe those religions want globalism. Some of them do. The globalists do. Those who are part of the New World Order, I don't know, Illuminati crap, whatever wording you choose to apply to that, those people are wanting that, and that's why Trump winning was spectacular.
I'm very skeptical about a lot of things in the sense, like I think the gay community, right? I think the gay community, for the most part, don't really give a crap about. I think they're like, yeah, we got gay marriage, right? Sweet, no worries. I think there's, say, the gay LGBTQI, whatever. I think they're like 1 or 2% of the population, right? But I think inside that 2%, there's probably 0.001% of that group who are the militant. They're the militant ones who are pushing all this crap. And I think that's the same for a lot of these demographics. You know what I mean? I think even though there's a minority, I think the minority itself probably isn't that bad. I think there's a super minority inside it who are pushing. They're the squeaky wheel real deep down inside it. And the biggest problem with that is that the virtue signalers on Twitter who are like, oh, they capitulate and they virtue signal, oh, you're a bigot, you're a racist. Because I think that look, personally, I think that they're militant atheists at heart. There's a bit of atheism in there, and all they have is materialistic self-gratification, and in their mind, all they want is an emotional feel good. They want something to emotionally feel good. This is why they virtue signal. This is why you have this squeaky wheel element of 0.01% inside everything.
Dusty, you paid off.
Paid off
by Mossad.
I think this is the truth. This is the truth.
Sorry, I was reading the chat. I was trying to be funny. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going.
I'm telling you, we need to all understand this, because these squeaky wheel people, they're trying to divide us up. But never underestimate, when I go to talk to like a Muslim or a gay person, right, or a left-wing person, I find I'm open to the discussion. I think the bulk majority of even the identity politics groups, Jews, Muslim, whatever, I think it's only 1% of that minority that is the nutcases. And the biggest problem we have is people who, there's like the normies who are the virtue signalers. They get a psychological reward that makes them feel good because they're driven by their emotions and materialism, because they don't have a culture or a tradition anymore. They sold that. They sold it out. They sold out their tradition, their culture, their value when they became atheist, and now all they have is materialism and emotional. Everything's emotionally driven. If I can virtue signal to you and say, you're the bad guy, look at me, pointing the finger. That's what this White Rose article's about. It's about a journalist who's virtue signaling, because for him, I don't think they have a culture or a tradition or a value. All they have is materialism, the physical gratification, and in our mind, it's an emotional thing. It's all emotional.
No, I agree with that. I just don't agree with your assertion about the globalists. You're saying that most religions don't, but it's not true. There is a faction of Judaism that does. But that's.
I know. I haven't read most. I've read a fair chunk of the Talmud. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know what it says. They believe.
Then why do you retain that belief? Then why do you retain that false ideology that?
Because I believe that there's 0.01%. They're almost non-existent on the planet.
Okay, and say that's true. I'm not sure what the specifics are. Say that is true. They are still the ones who are influencing the Bill Clintons and the Illuminati World Order people. They still have the most power. So how do you?
This is the thing, but the Bill Clintons.
Why are we debating this?
The Bill Clintons are the normies who are virtue signaling. So they get the squeaky wheel minority
But
who's
they're
like,
capitulating.
that's throwing the freaking toys out the cot. And it's the Bill Clintons, the Hillarys, and the Merkels who have sold out. They've sold that in a way. They've sold out to their emotions because it's the virtue signal. This is the we need to wake up.
Their emotion, Dusty. I think it's part of a bigger agenda. It's probably partly that, but I think it's part of a bigger agenda that you're not seeing because
the agenda is selfishness. The agenda is materialism. The agenda is the love of money.
That's part of it, but the agenda is also part of something bigger. It's in the book of Revelations. Globalism will be a reality, and these horrible little 1%ers that you're talking about will end up winning, and you know, Australia is being sold off to China bit by bit. Like these people are capitulating to this 1% that of which you speak, and that's scary. It's not just based on emotion. The Talmud is what it is.
Well, it's the love of money. I'm telling you, it can like.
Oh yeah, the love of money. I'm not saying I disagree with everything you're saying.
I think it like the love of money is the root of all evil. That's what Jesus said. And I'm saying, they've sold out to the stimulation of the nerve endings and the emotional side. It is about money. It's all about money.
Of course. I agree with that. I agree with.
They can get that self-gratification at one level or another. The love of money is so embedded in these people. It's in their mind, and this is why they virtue signal. This is why they say it. Like, who cares about there could have been 1,000 people who commented on Lyle Shelton's tweet, and it was all like, you're a Nazi, you're a Nazi. And all it was like, look at me, I'm so nice, I'm so good. Dopamine hit. Oh, I feel better now because that's all it is. When you have someone who is spiritual or Christian, we go in our heart, in our mind, we're on a different plane. We're not. It's not about the materialistic. It's not about the emotional. There's satisfaction.
We operate on logic and morals,
and we're satisfied and we're at peace. So we don't need to do that. We're like, okay, I can look at it and say, but what is the most healthy thing? What's going to give them the greatest outcome? This is why I don't believe in mass migration or open borders. I believe
nor do I.
Detention is a great thing. We shut down people smugglers, and then you have places and now look what happened in Europe. Well, they couldn't. They had to make an emotional decision, but now they have a slave trade in Libya. Do you know what I mean?
There's still a sex trade.
Oh, and look in America, the Latino people are, illegal people coming over with no workers' rights, working for cash. What happens when they get injured? What happens when they get sick? What are they doing? They're modern-day slaves. They're modern-day slavery.
Well, then my people should just stop jumping the border and try to do it the right way. What morons?
Well, I think we can solve the problem through spirituality, through real Christianity, which is the Holy Spirit. It's through the Holy Spirit. Like Jesus said, I'm going to the Father and I will send you the Helper, the Holy Ghost, right? And and you will receive power and he'll help you. So the thing, once we have the Holy Spirit, we have peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control. There's no addiction to money. People are like literally taking their kids and they're going to America where there's no workers' rights for them. They're illegally going there. They're selling themselves into prostitution or selling drugs and being gang members, putting their life at huge threat. What for? Money.
Yeah.
Which is creating more corruption and more violence and more people smuggling. And it's just like, but when do you stop and go, hang on, we don't have to use an emotional, because it's all materialistic and the virtue. So I think we get there. That's how they get there. There's simple things. Like I could say this: 20% of people are fucking stupid, and we should all stay away from and be be careful.
Mhm.
I think 1%? Maybe it's 0.01% people are evil. Most people, 99% live their life like a perfect libertarian. They don't come and steal your seat on the bus or the train. They don't help themselves to your wallet.
Mm.
They believe in personal freedom and property rights, and the people are quite polite. They use their manners. You barely
Mm.
see people doing crazy stuff.
Mm.
Like,
This
I've
is
barely
true.
seen any violence. Where do you see violence? When you go to a boxing ring or watch UFC.
Yeah. No, that's true.
The young people who are tricked. Young people get tricked. They look at like pop stars and R&B music, and it's
Mm.
just full of materialism. And then these same young people are like the African youths in Melbourne who go and steal and break into people's house and rob them and roll them for money, because I think they've been brainwashed by the materialism too.
Mm.
And that's
I would
not to take the piss about capitalism, because capitalism is lifting the world out of poverty. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. No, I understand exactly what you're saying. Yeah, look, I just wanted to clarify something. Even though, not that I should preface this at all, I shouldn't have to justify myself, but I will, just in case someone wants to.
You lose all your subs. No.
Well, no, exactly. No, just in case someone wants to call me an anti-Semite just because I said what I said earlier about the 1%. I am pro-Israel. I don't hate any race of people at all. I just look at the facts and I can distinguish appropriately what is right and what is wrong, what is fact and what is not. And so even though I disagreed with you on that one point, it doesn't make me any less anything than anyone else. I shouldn't have to say that, but I just thought I would. But yeah, look, we've done the full hour. Is there anything you want to say?
So, like, I'll read you the tenets of the Proud Boys, because these hit
Okay.
pieces are like, obviously they're freaking a massive. They're trying to take, they've used the Proud Boys as the point. Obviously they're going after scalps. They want Bob Catter. They hate Dave Pello. They hate bloody Lyle Shelton. And I'm only talking about like a 0.01% authoritarian people. This is this tiny super minority of nutcase, right? They're going after everyone, maybe because, Queensland helped win the election. This is what I think. So they're like, oh, we need to do some work in Queensland. We need to start getting some scalps in Queensland. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think this is truly about. But they've used the Proud Boys. They've used the Proud Boys as their justification to bring these people down, right? So
exactly.
these are the values, right? These are the values: minimal government, maximum freedom, anti-political correctness, anti-drug war, closed borders, anti-racial guilt, anti-racism,
Anti-racial
pro-free.
guilt.
Yeah, anti-racial guilt. That's like
good.
a thing that needs to be happen. People need
to reparations.
forgive.
My family was owned by your family. Give me money.
Oh, we're all victims. We can all claim victim status. Like, every nation's been enslaved and had the people have been enslaved by their own kings and queens or whatever. Like, we all need to forgive. We all need to forgive, and then we need to forgive ourselves. That's the thing, right? That's like a part of being a Christian.
Congratulations, Ben. This is the one video you have not sworn once in.
I'm getting better. I think when I started doing lives. Thank you. Haven't I swore once? Good on you. I knew I was getting better. I was like, maybe I was just a little bit nervous, and I used swearing to just be like.
Well, because my mum really likes it. She walked into the room. She goes, "Oh, my brother in Christ." And she goes, "Oh, but he swears too much." She goes, "Oh, but he has a nice face." She thinks swearing takes off your face somehow.
Don't worry, I'm probably gonna get punched in the face a few more times in life, so maybe I won't have a pretty face. Anyway, but yeah, like, look, anti-racial guilt. I think this is the thing. When you become a Christian, you receive forgiveness, and then you start forgiving others. So, like, give up on the racial guilt thing. It's not freaking helping you or anyone. It's just making people a victim. Victimhood mentality is freaking a poison on this earth. Yeah, anti-racism, pro-free speech, pro-gun rights, glorifying.
Anti-racism.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just felt like yelling that.
Glorifying the entrepreneur, venerating the housewife, and reinstating a spirit of Western chauvinism. That's our tenets. So if you believe in that and you're a man, if you're a man, you identify as a man, you were born a man, and you identify, you're like, yeah, I like them tenets, then you can become a Proud Boy, regardless of your race or religion. We do discriminate against women.
Of course.
Women
But
can't join.
if I become transgendered, I'm totally in.
You can't. You can't. You have to be born a man and you have to identify as a man. We don't let trannies in.
Oh, interesting.
We don't let trannies in and we don't let women in. Like, well, a tranny is a woman. You know, peace, two genders.
Yeah.
This is where it all started by, you know, a silly microphone joking around with Bob Catter, him saying our first degree pledge. He didn't even know. He didn't even know what he's doing. It was just a joke. And then also sitting there with Lyle Shelton and someone puts up, you know, two genders or
that's funny.
Okay, it's okay to be a Proud Boy. That's our thing. That's been our thing for years. It's okay to be a Proud Boy.
This is me as a boy. That's me as a boy. That's with the Snapchat filter. How horrible is that?
What an ugly bloke.
It's pretty bad. Have you done the one where you can look like a girl?
No, I haven't done it. The Proud Boys were doing it. It was all of them were doing it. I'm like, no.
You would look so pretty.
I don't entertain the ideas. I'm not getting sucked into their. But didn't the trannies crack it about that? They weren't happy about that.
It's not even the trannies. It was one person who spoke on behalf of the trannies, and then everyone jumped on board that. Yeah,
it was some virtue signal loser, like I've been saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the trannies. They don't give a crap. They don't care.
Exactly.
Most of these people don't care.
Exactly.
Most of these people will have a normal conversation and be like, oh, yeah, we disagree, whatever. Who gives a fuck? That's life.
Exactly.
That's what the bulk majority of people are like.
I agree with you. Okay, so just before we go, I didn't go to church today. So let's end the live stream on a nice Bible verse. I've got my Bible app. Let's see what the Bible verse of today is, because I feel like I was a bad Christian today. Okay, let's have a look. So the Bible verse of today is Psalms chapter 103, verse 13, English Standard Version. As a father shows compassion to his children, so the Lord shows compassion to those who fear him. It's all about fear. You got to fear the Lord. You can't just respect and love God. You have to fear him. Revere him.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right.
I guess that's the thing. Yeah. We'll leave it there. Thanks so much for having me on and letting me defend myself, come on your channel and talk about this stuff.
Happy to. You've always been kind to me.
Yeah, and I guess it's like an opportunity to defend guys like Lyle Shelton and Dave Pallow, who are good men. Do you know what I mean? And Bob Catter. Like, this hit piece, they deserve better than this shitty journalist who's done a terrible job. You know what I mean?
They really do. You're very right about that. Guys, make sure you catch the Dusty Bogans channel. He's got a lot of good content. And recently you were on
Revenge of the Sis.
Again? You've been on twice now, right?
I went on, so they have daywave radio and nightwave radio. I was coming home from the pub at like, 12:30 at night, Friday night, and then I was watching daywave radio because they're in America. And I was in the comments section. I jumped on the train drunk as on my Skype. Then my phone went dead, and then I jumped on their live when I got home. And then the next morning I woke up and went back to back after their show, and I had them on my channel.
Yes, I saw that.
Revenge of the Sis, yeah. So it was, mate, that was a shocking hungover as fuck episode.
Oh my God.
By the time I got the boys on, it was pretty good, and then I think I'd like pulled my shit together. So it was definitely fun. Do you know what I mean? They're fucking awesome. Revenge of the Sis.
Have you told them about me? Like you promised?
I think they continually stalk my channel, and they like the content, so they're aware of everyone on there. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
So you get an opportunity to chat to them.
Yeah, no worries. Yes, well, I'll do the same for you with other people that I know you've wanted me to, and I have already, by the way.
Yeah.
So, guys, make sure you catch Dusty's channel and you catch the Revenge of the Sis on his channel, but he's also been on their channel. Give him a donate to his channel. You can to pay his PayPal. You can do the same for mine. I'll be on your channel next Sunday with a special guest, which will keep quiet.
check out the dustybogan.com and all the links to my social media, PayPal, everything's on there. So, I'll be backing up all my. Okay, sweet. I'll be backing up all my videos eventually. So if they ever deplatform me, you can keep track of what the hell's going on.
Exactly.
I don't think they will, but you know, with hit pieces like this, it's the start. It's the start of the circular reasoning process,
exactly.
and then that's kind of how they deplatform you. They get enough of these hit pieces, and then they scalp you.
They do, and you have a good merch
shitty plan. Yeah,
yeah,
it's all coming together because a lot of people have been like, "Hey, mate, I'll give you a hand. I'll help you." So thanks everyone for that generosity. You know.
Oh, you have a lot of good people around you. Yeah, so that's it. Guys, check out my latest video, which I uploaded about 3 hours ago. It's just me reading the mission statement of the Liberal Party and comparing it to how they treated me. And keep an eye out for a very special video tomorrow between me and a friend. And that's it. We'll see you later, guys. Thanks for tuning in. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Stop the broadcast.